The last thing my wife said before walking out the door was, "I just need a break from us." She said it calmly, almost like she had already practiced the sentence. I stood there watching her pack a small suitcase, trying to understand how 11 years of marriage could suddenly become something she needed to escape from. "3 weeks," she said. "Give me 3 weeks. No calls, no questions. Just let me think." I agreed. What she didn't know was that the moment she left, I stopped waiting for her to come back. For the first few days, the house felt strangely quiet. Her coffee cup was still beside the kitchen sink. Her favorite jacket hung behind the bedroom door. Even her perfume remained in the hallway. I expected to miss her. Instead, I started noticing how much of my life had revolved around keeping her happy. I worked late because she said we needed more money. I canceled weekends with friends because she wanted time together. I avoided arguments because I thought protecting our marriage meant staying quiet. Then something changed. I started waking up early. I went back to the gym. I started meeting old friends. I took over the parts of my life I'd slowly abandoned. And for the first time in years, I felt peaceful. On the 10th day, she sent me a message. "Are you okay?" I stared at it for almost a minute. Then I replied, "Yes." She didn't answer. 2 days later, another message arrived. "Do you miss me?" I could have written 100 things. Instead, I typed, "I miss who we used to be." She never responded. By the 3rd week, I had almost convinced myself that our marriage was over. Then, on Friday evening, I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, my wife was standing there with the same suitcase she'd taken 3 weeks earlier. But she looked different. She wasn't angry. She wasn't confident. She looked nervous. "Can I come in?" she asked. I stepped aside. She placed the suitcase near the couch and sat down. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, she looked at me and said, "I made a mistake." I didn't answer. She continued. "When I asked for a break, I thought I was going to realize how much better my life would be without you." She swallowed hard. But something happened that I didn't expect. "What?" She looked directly into my eyes. "I realized I wasn't unhappy because of you." I waited. I was unhappy because I had convinced myself that I deserved a different life. More excitement, more attention, more freedom. She paused. And during these 3 weeks, I got everything I thought I wanted. That sentence caught my attention. "What do you mean?" She looked down at her hands. "I went out. I spent time with people. I stayed up late. I did whatever I wanted." Then she looked back at me. And it was empty. I remained silent. She stood and walked toward the window. "Everywhere I went, I kept comparing everyone to you." I didn't know what to say. Then she turned around and delivered the sentence that changed everything. "I came back because I finally understood something." "What?" "You were never holding me back." She took a breath. I was the one destroying what we had. I looked at her suitcase. Then I looked at her. "You asked for a break," I said. "And I gave you one." "I know. You told me not to call." "I know. You told me you needed space." Her eyes filled with regret. "I know." I nodded slowly. "Then why are you back?" She walked closer. "Because when I came back, I realized something else." "What?" She whispered. "You changed." I almost laughed. "No, I didn't." She shook her head. "Yes, you did. You're not chasing me anymore." That was when I understood. She hadn't come back because she suddenly discovered how much she loved me. She came back because she realized I could live without her, and that realization scared her. I looked at the woman I had spent 11 years trying to keep. Then I calmly said, "I'm glad you came back." She smiled through her tears. But before she could say anything else, I added, "Because now we can finally talk honestly about whether we should stay married." Her smile disappeared. For 3 weeks, she'd expected me to wait by the door. Instead, she came home to a man who had finally learned that loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself. And for the first time, the decision about our future wasn't hers alone.